Good morning, I'm Mez Deline, and I've been doing daily oracle cards, and I'm just hoping to be of some little help to somebody somewhere when they need it. These cards are just amazing, and there's a common theme running along. It's just fun. So, today's card is In the World, Not of the World. I love this. I love it so much. The artwork, just so beautiful. It is safe for you to become naked with life. This doesn't necessarily mean stripping off and running wild in public. It does mean stripping back your beliefs, strongholds, and mental or emotional security blankets so that you can live with less obstruction than ever before. Imagine the conditioning that has kept life away from you, just kept it dropping out of your hands like keys, coins, or locks. Conditioned beliefs about money, time, security, having, locking away, holding, and controlling can be surrendered and allowed to fall away. And this is the truth. What would it be like to feel as though you were on holiday every day? Perhaps there would be a softening in your way with life, an implicit trust in its flow, and a faith in the ability of time to bend and stretch as needed so that all may be accomplished. It is an advanced stage of our spiritual relationship with life that we are able to feel held within it sufficiently enough to surrender our defenses, layer by layer, and to nakedly accept what is. This oracle comes as a message to you. Sometimes we need our defenses. At other times it's clear we're outgrowing them. There's something that you have outgrown. It has to do with your ideas about productivity, time, control, and money. It has to do with abundance, trust, and living with the fundamental belief that everything is going to turn out okay. You are ready to be much more vulnerable and exposed in life. You don't have to hide behind being organized, perfect, in control, or financially secure and stable. Nor do you need any other acceptable social face. It is time for you to loosen the strings of your own controlling nature. They are too tight and too restrictive for you anyway. You were born to live in a much freer way. When you live as you innately are, rather than how you have been conditioned to be, you will experience greater joy, freedom, and support. When you are not resisting yourself or resisting life, there is less resisting what you need as it comes to you. I know so many people who think I don't deserve that. You know, everyone else deserves it, but they don't feel like they deserve it when something comes to them. That's just a small example of, shedding that layer. This message is you are shedding. It might be an identity, it might be a status symbol such as a car, home, or suburb, and it could even be a socially admired relationship. You are shedding because no matter what the appearance of things, those old forms are too constricting for you, like an old pair of shoes. It's like your spirit was trying to walk in shoes several sizes too small. They were starting to pinch, the seams were ripping, and eventually they'd fall apart. Likewise, you're being stripped of internal beliefs that are failing you, perhaps externally as well. Whether this seems to be your choice or not, make no mistake, it is your own spirit in cahoots with the loving spirit of life that has brought this situation to you, or brought this situation about. So you're being guided to trust. There's that big T word again. You also understand and know that this is all freeing you. After letting go, there comes a temporary emptiness that provides a greater space for fulfillment to come forth. So this is such a great message, I think, for all of us who work so hard to try to be what we think we need to be, or what other people want us to be, or, you know, what we've been conditioned to be. And it's okay to let that go. It's okay to shed that outer layer of expectation of from other people and yourself, and just be who you are meant to be, who you feel called to be. I know, you know, some of us have a strong calling towards something we want to do in our lives, whether it's, you know, travel to Tahiti or start a new business, or, you know, go back to school and get our degree. There's so many things that people might be called to do. Maybe it's to have a baby. And we push that calling aside because, you know, we don't have enough money to have a baby. We don't have, let me tell you, babies, you figure it out, in case that's your issue. We feel like we can't start that business because we're stuck in this job that, you know, gives us status, or that, you know, pays us. So I guess it comes down to a lot of times, you know, letting go of those layers of shields and walls that we've built up over a lifetime. It's about fear. It's about stepping out of fear, you know, and letting go of what we're doing, and going for that, you know, going for that calling, you know, stepping into another realm, one that we choose. And maybe you did choose that horrible job, or that bad relationship, or whatever originally, but you can make another choice, right? We're never stuck, unless we allow ourselves to be. So one of the things that stood out for me in this was, what would it feel like to be as though you were on holiday every day? And some of you know I'm working on my graduate, my master's in fine arts for writing, and I read this story about this guy who went on holiday, and it was written a long time ago, but it was just so, it was great, because what it brought up for me was that I started looking at how when I go on holiday, I'm who I am naturally, right? So for instance, I went to Hawaii and spent a month there in 2012. God, I miss Hawaii. and I was there for a month, and I was house sitting for a friend, and I didn't have any of my normal expectations on me, right? I didn't have, I finished a class through Skype while I was there, the first week I was there, and that's about it, okay? And so I would walk around this beautiful home, and I would walk around out in this beautiful yard, and look at the statuary that she had of Kuan Yin and Buddha, and it's just so beautiful there. I would drive down to the ocean and stand on a cliff and look at the sea turtles, and I was just like, I didn't know what to do with myself. And then, because I'd been so conditioned and so structured to be a certain way in the world, right? And those layers started falling off of me. And pretty soon, you know, I'm going to the marketplace and I'm talking to people, and they think I'm an islander because, you know, I always do dress kind of funky. But I just was myself, who I really was. Just that person who is open and loving and ready for adventure, and it was just this amazing experience. And I've tried to hold on to that in my life, right? Because when we go on holiday, nobody knows you there. When you go on a trip, especially when you go by yourself, nobody knows you. They don't have any preconceived notions of who you are, that you're that studious, hardworking, self-sacrificing, whatever. No, they just see a person, and they have no expectations of you at all. So you just can be who you are. And so I've tried to, you know, that's how I've been trying to live my life since then. is to just be who I am without that conditioning. I think me personally, my biggest thing that I overcame was the conditioning that I was a victim. I mean, the belief that I was a victim. I was a victim, okay? Victim of child abuse, victim of marital whatever, and then through counseling and mostly through self-growth and self-help books and putting those things into practice on a daily basis, dropping words like I should, or there's just words that you just put on yourself. I stopped shoulding myself, things like that, right? And I just decided I didn't want to be a victim anymore. And so in the year 2000, I changed my name legally to Mesdeline as a celebration of that. Now, that's not to say that I didn't have some victimizing or a big victimizing event in my life. But because I refused to be a victim, then I was able to just make it through that and come out the other side, right? Because I wasn't going to allow myself to be a victim. You can do something to me, but I don't have to take it in, right? I know who I am. So this is about that. This is about shedding those layers of what you expect of yourself, what other people expect of you, that are not who you really are. And I was talking to a friend last night about I have another friend who's in this job that would literally kill me. And I mean it. I would rather die than do that job, right? It is so stressful and so, I can't even, but for her, she thrives. She thrives. That job feeds her. It fills her up, right? And so, yay. And I watched her go from point A to point B with this, and watched her become confident and filled with passion about what she's doing. And I'm looking at what she's doing and going, what? Okay, so that's who she really is, not who I am, right? And yet I have worked a similar job, and because I thought I had to, because I was conditioned to, and it made a lot of money and blah 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 blah, right? So it's about those kind of things. Allowing yourself to be you, who you really are, following that calling, even if it seems, let go of what other people think. Who cares what other people think, right? We'll talk about that later. It's what's calling you. What feeds you? What feeds your soul? What nourishes you? To me, it's being who you're meant to be. It's following your own inner calling, not someone else's. Letting go of that outside conditioning. So, I hope that you can become naked with life. And even if it's just like, take off your socks, I don't know. But anyway, I love you guys. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.